Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Someday with Jay Barsky. This episode's guest is South Florida comic and one of my best friends, Seetha. He's one of the hardest working people I know, and I thought it would be cool for him to join us for a chat. You'll hear us talk about his experience performing in India, our shared interest in Bollywood movies, and much more. With that said, I hope you enjoy your Someday with Seetha. Seetha, what's up, man? How you
What's
doing?
going on, man? All good, all good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I am happy to have you. I haven't really got a chance to really hang out with you in a while or talk to you.
Thank you.
And just for our listeners to know, like, I don't know how long you've been doing stand up. I'm a big fan of you as well.
Thank you.
Obviously we're friends, since I first started, we were friends. But one thing that's awesome is that, I'm a big fan of your bits, and especially, when I've seen you on your shows, and it's always a pleasure to catch one of your shows.
Thank you so much.
So I want to ask, because we barely see each other now, bumping into mics.
Right.
I'm always traveling to different mics too. So how's the stand-up coming along for you?
Stand-up is going good. I'm getting booked a lot outside of the local area here, the Miami, West Palm Beach area. So mostly my bookings are in the West Coast and in this northern part of Florida. Not north, but Cocoa Beach, Orlando. I'm doing a lot of private gigs, which is interesting. HOA gigs. So that I'm featuring in Gregory's and in some of the bigger clubs coming up. So I would say stand-up is going good.
Yeah, and I saw a while back, I guess you were in Naples. Was it hosted for Brendan Schnaub?
Yes.
Okay, man. Yeah, you're doing big things, dude. I
Yes,
like him.
off the hook. Captain Brian called me one fine day and he said, if you have time, come host for Brandon. I'm like, yeah, I jumped on it. Again, it's a 2.5 hour drive. Nothing, hardly something local, like a 30-minute drive comes my way. I was driving one day and then somebody from Bonkers, which is in the Villages, called me and said, can you be there tomorrow? That's a 3.5 hours drive each way. And I went and did it. I had so much fun. It was a sold out crowd. But again, my back was a little upset with me.
I remember you did mention something about your back to me, and now that you talk about traveling, I drive a lot to different locations and exploring and finding all these mics. So yeah, my back hurts too, dude.
Right. Back, what I've seen is I've invested in a good automobile. I got a new Tesla.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I think that's a good investment for stand-up because it pretty much drives by itself on the major highways and stuff, so I can relax a bit. It has really helped me. I know it's not, it's become so affordable. Tesla used to be like 2 years back as a luxury car, but they've slashed it down so much. Like the basic model is just as cheap as a Toyota Corolla. Like if you can get a Tesla base model for like a Corolla, 35-40K,
oh wow,
so I invested on the low end model of Tesla, and that's been really helping out.
I have a Prius, but even that's helpful, dude, when I go travel down, especially when I go deep down into Miami and I'm doing all these other open mics and doing an hour and a half, probably driving 70 miles one way down, and then 20 miles one way, and then 20 miles another, and then finally get back.
My second car is a Prius. Prius is what I got. That's my wife's car, basically, which is also sometimes I drive. And I love Prius, man. I mean, it's such a comfortable car. It helps on those long drives too.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid car, so you don't have to. It's got a lot of mileage in it. You don't have to stop every 2 hours for gas or anything. So yeah, Prius is an amazing car.
Do you listen to music, or how are your drives?
It's very different every time I drive. Sometimes I just want silence, and this is so creepy for people. Like I don't play anything. I'm just in my mind, going over my bit or going over my my set, and then when coming back, I always play what I just performed, like at least a few times, and then like, oh yeah, I could have done this. It's like driving back is always self-analysis mode.
Yeah.
Playing back what I've done, and like, I could have done this better. But driving too, yeah, there are times why I would listen to music. I've been trying to take somebody along for like one time. Me and Vishali, the other comedian, we did one full day of driving and comedy. Like we started at 6 a.m. in the morning. We went to Tampa, actually Clearwater, for an Indian wedding show. And then from there drove down to Cape Coral for Richie's, one of the market shows. And then that ended up around 8:39, and then came back home around 12 midnight. So literally one full day of driving. So if something like that comes up, I usually look for some driving partner. I remember one time Cindy Ann and myself, we went to Tampa for a Don't Tell show. That's a 5-6 hour way, one each way drive. So sometimes having somebody helps.
Yeah, keeps you up, especially like late at night. Yeah,
wake up, drive, start driving.
Especially knowing like, okay, I got another life in here.
Yeah.
Continue on talking about traveling. You actually, a while back, you performed in India or did some stand up there. So how was that?
Yeah, India is very, very welcoming. It's a very new stand-up market. It's only been like 4-5 years. Stand-up even started to become a main activity there. It's very fresh, very new. It's very exciting. They welcome people from all over the place to come and perform. So I went to Chennai, my hometown, and I know a bunch of comics there. So they gave me opportunity. It's a booming market. It's one of the it's where the 90s boom of stand up in US. It's something like that is happening in India right now. Like there is so much of clubs opening up, stand-up specials in Indian Amazon Prime and Indian Netflix. A lot of stand-up comedians are getting movie opportunities. So it's becoming mainstream now, which is it's a very exciting time for Indian comedians. And a lot of Indian comedians come to US for tour, and I'm hoping to perform like open for a couple of them. So we'll see how that goes.
I do my research on when I do my stand up, and at least when it comes to writing. And, one thing is going through a lot of YouTube independent specials that people do. And I've came across like in India, like people doing their specials, and they're in English. So are you able to perform in English? Like, could I go there and like perform in?
There was a lot of things which British did, but one of the good things I think British did was to getting English into the mainstream society of India. So I studied in an English medium school, so I know English all my life. That's one of the good things the English left for us. But yeah, there is local comedy, there is local language comedy, and there is English comedy, and you got market for both. People who are working in IT, and India has a lot of these cosmopolitan cities, which means there's a lot of IT in one place. Like Bangalore, there will be people from all over India converging and working there, and they don't know the local language, so they have to go see the English shows. So there's a huge market for that. So all the metros, the cosmopolitan metro, Bombay, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, Calcutta, there is a lot of market for English speaking comedy.
My biggest thing what I like about comedy is just the traveling. So yeah, like I'm gonna put that on my list of like places to travel. I just want to like spend a week somewhere, just have some new material, or maybe play with some old material.
I'll hook you up, man. You let me know if you're if you're going to India. I'll hook you up. Canada is an amazing place to travel for comedy, and it's not very far too. It's very like you can literally drive sometimes. Go to New York and drive there, or even if you want to take a flight to Canada, amazing. Toronto booming with mics. Like in a week you can do like 20 mics. It's crazy.
Oh, nice.
In Toronto area is crazy for comedy. And that's where Russell Peters started. And I went to some of the mics he went to 20 years back, and they would tell me, oh yeah, Russell Peters used to be here, and they're still running those mics. So yeah, Canada is I mean, India is the other side of the globe. Maybe some medium-term plan, but if short-term plan for comedians could be definitely be Canada. Affordable, a lot of mics and clubs there. You can go to Toronto and just check it out.
We should do a road trip together and go to Canada.
Oh yeah, that'll always be fun, man. I want to do. I don't know when I'll do it, but I want to do like a full, a US road trip for comedy stops. Utah is like Provo, where the dry bar specials around that area, surrounding areas.
Yeah.
They told me that you can spend like 15 days there just hitting mics and clubs.
Hell yeah,
in a 100-mile radius. There's Chicago nearby. There is so many Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So yeah, I would love to. Yeah,
I'm gonna just start writing a good 15 minutes material and just prepare.
Yeah,
let's do it, dude. Road trip together.
Yes, that'll be amazing. That'll be awesome, man.
So what got you started doing stand-up?
This was pre-COVID. I was going through a little bit of, I don't know, midlife crisis, or my kids were grown up and I didn't have much to do after work. I was looking for things to do. I was into meditation and yoga and I tried the spirituality thing. I still do a little bit of all of them, but I wanted something more to engage and keep myself occupied. And I came across this stand-up writing class by Casey Kasperson, Sick Puppies comedy in Boca. This was in September 2021, I think.
Okay.
And I said, okay, why not? 4-week class. Let's sign up and see. I always love. Since childhood, I always loved Jerry Seinfeld and Russell Peters, and grew up watching them. So I said, okay, stand-up seems to be something I'm interested in. Let's just go check it out. It was amazing. 4 week of classes, and it was Funky Buddha at that time. I know it was something else, and then it became Mad Robot. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember as Funky Buddha.
Funky Buddha. Okay, yeah. So and then it became Mad Robot, and then now I don't know if they do stand-up anymore there. So it's gone. But that's the first stage I ever.
Okay.
That's the first stage cool. I ever. Yeah. It was like a graduation class, and then Casey was like, go do 5 minutes of bits. I'm like, oh my god, man. Mike Sintron was the host, me and Sarah Sherman, we were the graduating class, and a couple of others. Oh my god, it was terrible. I forgot all my jokes. It was like the worst. I remember my wife came with me for that graduation thing for 5 minutes, and we went back to the car, and there was so much of crying.
Oh man.
And I told my wife, stop crying, it'll get better by time. You thought I was crying, but it was my wife. She was like, I will never come with you until you get better. I'm like, okay. She still has, she's come to some shows. She's not very you have to get to the next level for me to come and check you out. I said, okay, fine. Wait for it. Give me 5 years. But that's how we started. That's how stand-up started.
Well, you've done a lot since then. I mean, you started over where Funky Buddha, and then I saw you at Dania Improv when you had the turkey contest.
Oh yeah, that was an amazing night. Yeah. I think that was like a game changer for me. That night changed a lot, because that video, I'm still using it, is giving me a lot of opportunities. I mean, improv is improv, man. It's a brand, and it's there to sell, and that's what they do. I mean, they sell talent, and I'm still milking it. I use it to get a lot of my private gigs. It's a very good short video. This is what you have to spend some time and money in getting up the improv. Even if you do new faces in improv, and you get somebody to shoot 5 minutes of really good material and put it out there, I think it will go a long way to get you other gigs. Definitely, improv is a big name.
Well, it's always an enjoyment for me to watch you, with whether it's at open mics or showcases, and I love speaking of the Danny Improv, I remember you were dancing at one point, just a few moves, and I was like, I didn't even say, and this is the first time I saw you dance in your stand-up. And I was like, "Dang, Seetha's got some moves." And it's cool now to see that progress because now you do a lot of more dancing,
Right,
you do
right.
Bollywood dancing
Yes.
too, dude. So, what made you want to start including that in your stand-up?
So I've started getting a lot of private gigs about 6 months back, and the problem with private gigs is it's very difficult to get their attention just telling jokes.
Hmm.
It's like you're going to somebody's house or somebody's backyard, and there is 15, 20 people at somebody's birthday, and the host, which is usually the wife or the husband, of the birthday person, books you, they become really like excited. Oh, my husband loves comedy. We went to the improv a couple of times. I'm going to surprise him and my guest with a comedy show. So it's a surprise for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just dropped there in a in a living room or in a backyard, trying to fend for yourself. Like now what, right? Only the wife is excited. Nobody's excited about me being there except for the wife. So how do you and just saying jokes and not interacting is not going to work. I've tried that and I bombed, right? So I've started adding stuff where I can get people involved. So this is one of the thing I will do is like, okay, now let's take a break from the jokes and let's try to do some Bollywood dancing. Hey, birthday boy, come on over here. I'm going to teach you some simple Bollywood moves. And then, I go with the screw the bulb, pet the dog, and mop the floor. I do some silly singing. So I'm looking at all these additional non-joke things to fill up the private shows where I can engage the audience and still grab the attention. Because just saying jokes, you will lose them. You can be the best comic in the world, but unless it's like an improv, it's like a stage where they expect you and they know you are there to deliver jokes. They're not ready for you, and it's very difficult to entertain such a crowd. So I'll start dancing, I'll start singing, I will start doing magic. I've learned a bunch of magic tricks. I'll pretend I'm an Indian spiritual guru and start making some funny predictions. Hey, you look at you two look like you just met on Tinder and it's your first date. And they'll be like, wrong. And I'll be like, okay, the spirits are not talking. There's some Wi-Fi problem over here. The spirits are not talking to me. I'm finding ways to just engage the audience in all these, mainly for private shows. Now, where it has backfired is I've done some club shows like this. Like I would take some of these bits to club shows. They don't like it. I mean, like they are very serious about their comedy. Some clubs will, some hosts are like, do whatever, man. And, it's a variety show. You do you, right? Like my friend Larry Venturino, who himself does a game show after a stand-up. He's like, me and him talk all the time, and he encourages me like, yeah, go wild, man. Don't stick to the stigma of just telling jokes, right? But some of them I've seen when I come out of that. So did you realize that you've sung 3 songs during your set? Yeah, I do realize because I wrote those songs. So I don't know if you have to balance it out, I guess. When you're doing serious shows, you have to be serious, and when you're doing like private shows, you have to like try to engage the audience, I guess. There is a time and place for everything.
Do you watch Bollywood movies?
Oh yeah, all the time. Oh yeah, RRR, man, we won the Oscars. Did you see that? Have you seen RRR yet?
No, not yet.
Oh my God, put that at the top of your list. Everybody who's listening to this, put RRR at the top of your list. I think it's in Netflix or Amazon, one of those. Amazing movie. You'll get a feel of what Bollywood is just by watching it won the Oscars, dude. It's a big deal.
Well, so long time ago when I was in the Peace Corps, I actually lived in the Fiji Islands.
Yeah.
And there's big like Indian culture over there.
Right.
So, and I lived in the village, so there was nothing much to do. So, but I could watch like movies. I would have to go to the DVD store.
Right.
And they had a lot of like Bollywood movies.
Right.
Like, Bollywood was really popular.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of Bollywood movies.
Yeah.
And that was my introduction to Bollywood. So I just had all these like bootleg copy DVDs of all these Bollywood that like recent or like old stuff.
Yep.
And I just was going through all these Bollywood.
Nice.
I love Bollywood movies.
Yeah.
My favorite, I don't know if you've heard this, is Tumbin.
Tumbin. Oh yeah.
That's my favorite.
It's got good songs. Good music, it's very romantic movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my, I mean, and Like I like the action. I mean, granted, the acting's not that great.
Yeah,
But I'm just
I agree.
they're so.
I agree. Well, Bollywood is more like a Broadway show.
Yeah.
It's not like subtle acting or anything. It's all in your face. Like, let's dance. Okay, let's dance
Yeah,
around a
yeah.
tree, man. Let's go crazy. And if it's action, let's go crazy. This hero is lifting up a 18-wheeler by his thumb. He's not even a superhero. He's just a regular guy. That is exaggeration to how much ever you can exaggerate. So it's not subtlety.
Yeah.
That's not Bollywood for you.
Yeah. But yeah, another is Chandni Chowk to China, I think it's called. But
Chandni Chowk, okay.
Yeah. But like, I love Bollywood. I mean, I haven't really watched it recently, but when I was living in like Fiji, and
Right.
that's pretty much all I watched, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. They're all happy.
Yep, very nice. It's a
dancing.
songing, dancing. Yeah. Fast-paced dance.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these Bollywood music, if you go to any Zumba class over here, they're playing Bollywood music because it's fast-paced, like beat. It's Slumdog Millionaire is another pseudo Bollywood movie which got really popular. That won the Oscars too a bunch of years back, but now RRR is taking the world by storm. I mean, it's amazing what that movie has done.
I think the biggest, or I remember the biggest, is like Salman Khan or something.
Salman
like
Khan, yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, that's
still there. Oh my god!
At first, I thought like his movies were a little cheesy.
Yeah,
like Dabong.
It's still cheesy.
Stuff.
Yeah,
it's cheesy, but like after seeing a lot, I was like, this guy's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
cheesy cool, man. Cheesy
cool.
is cool in Bollywood. I mean, it's the complete opposite of the art movie kind of a scene, right? You be more cheesier, more cool you are. There has been slapstick heroes who have just made their career by being cheesy, as cheesy as they can.
Yeah,
and sometimes I've seen people who are even cheesy in real life, and they exaggerate it a little bit more in their acting. And this it's so awesome. People go crazy about it. Indians are simple-minded. We love a good dance song, lovey-dovey movies. Nothing too intense. Yeah, don't give intensity. Am I right in that you're including your wife in these Bollywood dancing, or she's helping out? It's so difficult to pull her into anything I do. Mm-hmm. I have to beg her, like literally cry, like, can you please do this? This is again the private shows, right? So they'll know that I'm Indian, and they'll say, okay, we are actually doing a show together. I think that's the first show we're doing together. Sometimes she comes as like a spectator, and I'll include her. But this is the first show officially somebody called me and said, hey, I will book your comedy if you can get your wife to do Bollywood songs. They are English people. They are Americans. And apparently it's the husband's 60th birthday show coming up, and the family is a very big Indian buff, Bollywood buff. They've been to India a bunch of times, and they said, hey, Seetha, can you do 30 minutes of comedy? By the way, you got to get me some Bollywood singing too. So I was like, I had to cry to her. Like, she never comes. I mean, she doesn't do this for fun or anything. She usually does this only for like religious, like in the temple or something. It's like an offering for the god. So I had like, can you please do this, because they won't book me unless you come with me. I'm like, come on, please. And like, okay, I'll do this one time. But so it's becoming difficult, and it's so easier when you have like a Bollywood dancer, Bollywood singing, and Indian comedy, like a event, like you can throw it will go so well. But I don't have, my wife doesn't want to come with me. I don't have Bollywood dancers. The one Bollywood team the dancing team I worked with, they're in Tampa, and they wouldn't travel. So I'm just sticking to my my Indian comedy for now. But it's a big market in Florida, and I never knew. I get calls all the time. Can you do Bollywood dancing for like? Can you do comedy, dancing, and music for me as like a full event or a full show? I'll pay you like $2,000. Come and do the show for me. I wish I can. I don't have people to come. Can I come and do the Bollywood dancing? I'll learn Bollywood dancing and come and do for $2,000. I don't care.
Yeah.
But no, they want those nice fancy dancing girls with the with the dress and whatever. But it's a big market, man. I wish I could. I mean, this is my like. If I had time and if I can put forth a theme, this is what I will do. We'll do an Indian event from soup to nuts. But DJing the whole event, 3 to 4 hours. We'll do a half hour of comedy, some dancing, some singing, and DJing the whole event. Give us like $5,000. We'll do the whole evening for you.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But it's a market. I'm learning so much more. Yeah, about what people want.
One thing I want to pick your brain about is like things that you relieve stress. I mean, you talk about like yoga and meditation. I don't know if that's like a stress reliever, but you want to share like what kind of
big time. We go to the temple actually today. My wife right now actually she's going to the temple. So we have a Sai temple in Lakeworth. We are there every Thursday. They do chants and meditation there. It's a very nice gathering. It's like a meditation hall, literally very energized. So sometimes if I'm not able to go there, I'll just sit at home and just close my eyes and meditate. I'll do some chanting myself. It's a big thing. Yoga, I tried, like the physical yoga, I've tried it. It needs a lot of discipline, man. Like you should not eat like a couple of hours before. It has to be in an empty stomach, and then and alcohol intake here and there. You have to be careful. So it needs a lot of prep and but some yoga you can do like for like stretching exercises. I still do it. But not the intense ones. I'm not finding time to do it. But it's that's how I de-stress. My de-stressing mostly is watching Seinfeld reruns. You can see me if I'm not doing anything. You will see me in my sofa. My mom will be sitting next to me. I don't know what if she understands or not. She'll just sit next to me, and then we'll be watching Seinfeld for hours. Like my wife will not even come near that space because like I can't take this anymore. I'm going and doing my own thing. So Seinfeld is my deep stress buster. Wonderful. From a stand-up perspective, I love Russell Peters more than Jerry Seinfeld because Russell is more is crowd work. I like stuff which are not pre-built, and I'm like that on stage too. I write a lot of stuff, but I love when there's something happens just without no preparation, right? Like improv, right? On the spot, but not full-blown improv, but that small magic will happen in between two jokes where somebody will say something and I respond to it, and that moment is what I relish. Everything else is planned. You know how this is going to go. Whether you're going to get a big laugh in one room or a smaller laugh in a different room, that just depends on whether the audience like your joke. Everything else is pre-planned. The magic happens only when it's not pre-planned and when something improv happens, the crowd work happens. So I did not do crowd work at all for like 1.5 years of my comedy. Okay. I was so stressed out about it. Now I love doing crowd work. I like to call people out and like, hey, let's talk. And so again, in some rooms they are serious. They're like they just want laughs and you do your work. I'm paying you. You do your work and get this. You're not here to have fun. Just do your work. And so some rooms you have to be careful not to do too much of crowd work. Yeah. But that's also I'm learning. This is all learning, right? But that's when the magic happens for me, and that's the reason I love because Seinfeld will not even look at he will not go off a script by even one extra there. Yeah. He's a scripted comic, right? Yeah. He will not. I've seen his shows. He will not. Okay. He will just from start to end. Every word he knows, and it works because there is a reason why he put that word there, and it works. Mm-hmm. But the magic happens when for me to see Russell Peters just like talking to somebody. Oh yeah, I'm from India, so let's talk about that. And the guy says something stupid, and Russell will kill him for like 5 minutes. I'm like, why the hell did I come? So that's like, oh my God, look at this guy. He's like, it's a born comedian.
Yeah. Do you follow any special routines? As for I don't know if you're vegetarian.
I'm a vegetarian. Yeah.
So and I don't know when it comes to diet, writing, sleep routines. Any special routines you
I like to write when I get up because that's when the mind is fresh. At least premises. That's my routine. Sometimes I'll wake up at the middle of the night, 3:30 in the morning, and my wife will literally kick me because I will switch on the phone and I'll write like a premise and go back, and it will wake her up, and she will kick me. Like literally, are you freaking kidding me right now? I have to wake up at 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. and get the kids ready. You'll sleep till 8 and now you're waking me up at 3:30. So early morning is the best time to write premises. Like, because you're already thinking about so many things. You're fresh. And you had the time to process everything which has happened the previous day, and it's all like fresh in your mind. You're not tired. Write the premises down. Write 5 premises down. It might never see the day in a light in a joke later, which is fine. But whatever happened the previous day, whatever happened during your dreams and this thing, it will be fresh in your mind around 4 a.m. If you keep an alarm at 4 a.m., I'm telling you, try this tomorrow or whatever. You will get 5 premises like that. It will be effortless. Effortless premises come between 3:30 to 4 a.m. because that is a yogic thing to it. It's called it's a very energy powerful hour because the body has gone through so much the previous day, and it has also got some rest. So the brain is like so fresh. It can absorb a lot of things. So that's when you should write your premises, and then later you can develop them into jokes.
Yeah, I'll start trying that out because one thing I've been doing this month is just focusing on my writing instead of doing stand-up. But and I'm a morning person. I like being a morning person. I pride myself.
Right.
But it's challenging.
But you're getting ready for work or doing something, so it will get in the way. You cannot wait. You cannot. I don't know if about you, but I don't have 1 hour to spend in the morning to start writing. That will be amazing. Yeah. But I don't have that. So at least I will spend 5 minutes just to write premises. Okay. Just like, okay, 3-4 bullet points. That's it. Or sometimes no, I won't pressure it. Like 1 bullet point, right? It's fine. Something came in my mind because I will have it already. I would want to write it. Like I like when I wake up, okay, I want to write this thing down. So something happened. So think about, like, people usually don't use that preconceived time to think of the premise, but you try it. Like tomorrow when you wake up, do I have any premise right now? Like you'll think about the day, right? Yeah. Ask yourself this question: do I have any premises to right now to jot down? And and see if your answer is yes. Jot them down, because that's when your mind is very active. That's what I've seen.
Do you go back to a premise in the morning in case
and then
don't
later,
have it?
Yes. Okay. And then later I'll develop it. If I have time, I'll start developing it into a joke. Most of the times right now what's coming up is, because I've been doing a lot of shows and comedians are warning me, like, if you're doing a lot of shows, you're not writing. So most of the time what will come is my tags to the already existing jokes. So that's what comes in the morning. Okay. Oh, shoot, I should add this tag. Oh, shoot, I should add this tag. So I'm writing the tags down. And then later during the day, I will incorporate in a joke. And I will try it out in the next show. Like, I have a bunch of tags to try out tomorrow. Like the next 3 days, I have a bunch of tags for already existing jokes I have to try. So that's how I'm expanding the jokes. It might not be a new premise. It could even be how to better an existing joke. That just write it down in the morning, and then you can develop it later during the day. As the day goes by, your mind is going more and more tired and weak, and it's not in a the creative part of your mind is the best in the morning.
I want to say you're probably one of the most hardest working people I've seen.
Oh, thank you.
And I can say I've seen it too. Yeah. Like, people might see like the online stuff you post, but I've actually seen you, on the ground. Right. Like one night I was in Hollywood coming late from a show and trying to grab an open mic, and you were headlining the show. I was grabbing the open mic over at Twisted Roots.
Oh, right, Twisted Roots, yeah.
And I was walking downtown. Then this was late, like maybe after 9 or something. Yeah. And I could see somebody running with a book bag on. Yeah. And I see it's you. Yep. Run into a show that you're headlining. Yep. And I'm like,
I was late. Yep.
This guy is work, and you probably came from somewhere else.
From another show, yes.
You have your own responsibilities too.
No, I was actually that night. I remember because I was coming from another show,
and I wasn't too far behind you, dude. And I'm like looking, I'm like, Damn, Seetha.
It's I sometimes push it to the limit that I can't even get up tomorrow. Like my wife will be like, "You can't even get up. Look at you. You can't even get up. Look at what you did." Like the show I did in the villages, that was a Thursday, and I was like, "Oh my God, I have to wake up and go back to work." Like even if it's working from home, I have to go back to work, right?
Yeah.
Like at 8 a.m. So yeah, sometimes the grind grind takes over. So
Yeah.
you have to be careful. Give yourself that space
No,
and rest.
I have that.
Massages, yes.
Massages.
Yeah,
Oh,
Friday I
nice.
have a nice massage, so I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. I want to talk about like what motivates you. Do you practice anything? Is there any specific thing that really helps motivate you? It doesn't have to just be stand up, just in life general.
I think what motivates me is to keep myself busy. Idle mind is a devil's workshop, and it has happened to me a bunch of times in the past. I either get like I can't. I'm very. I'm very easily influenced by all the bad things and the wrong things. So if I don't have time, I will just go drink or I will binge watch movies or shows. I will just waste my time. So what motivates me is keeping myself busy, and comedy is keeping me more than busy. I mean, like I don't have time now. I want to go have a nice drink somewhere or just go. My motivation is just being busy. Any type of busy is fun. I don't like long periods of time. I don't have anything to do. I usually do something really dumb or stupid.
Are you working on anything that our listeners should be watching out for?
I'm just featuring a bunch of clubs, doing a lot of private gigs. What I want to do is do like the event I told you, like a full event. And it doesn't have to be Indian, but I want to do like a mashup of a couple of genre of comedy and like a show. But I don't know, like I'm starting to talk to people, like how do we put together like a show where we can have observational comedy, adult humor, clean comedy, all that into like a show, and showcase this as a this is a stand-up soup, like a buffet or something like that. Very early. It's just within me right now. I'm thinking like of something like that. Like, but the comedian should be so different. And the audience should be like, wow, so this is worlds different. Like this guy was so clean, now look at this guy, and then completely the third guy is completely different genre, and how will all this mashup work, right? So that's something I'm mulling about. But other than that, just featuring and private gigs, that's my life right now.
I like to check out the event. I do enjoy that you come up with these creative events,
right?
Like independent, unique events,
right? No, as long as there is people who want to encourage it and experiment it. Larry is another guy who always likes experimentation. So we've been talking about doing some really different show, which stand-up is just one piece of it. So yeah, something is going to come up. I don't know what, but something has to, some creative thing has to come up. We'll see.
I'd love to check it out.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any final words you want to leave our listeners to help motivate them in pursuing their someday?
I know it's hard. Whatever you want to do, give it a shot. Give it your best shot. Fail a bunch of times, and because that's the only way you'll know how hard it is and how much you want it. A lot of people I don't know if you know this. A lot of people say 95% of the comedians drop out within the first year or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 95%. That's a huge number. So I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, a lot of people a lot of experienced comedians tell me that. And they ask me how long have you been doing, and I'm like, okay, just since COVID. Okay, give it some time. I'm still new. So you're giving me time. Okay, so am I going to drop this? So that's what I would say.
Seetha, I appreciate you coming out and chatting with me, but this has been a great experience. So thank you for joining us on Someday with Jay Barsky.
Thank you so much for having me, and good luck.
Thanks for listening to our episode with Seetha. Follow him on all his socials, which you may find in the episode notes. I hope you enjoyed our episode. Please rate and comment on the podcast to help make it grow. If you wish to follow me, all my socials are at I am Jay Barsky. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.